Folks, it's horrendous. Are you serious? What is going on in Syria? Just like the headline, Syria has fallen. This is a headline. It's one of the 12 prophecies for this year. But there's a headline: Syria has fallen. Why? Well, folks, because the vultures are flying in, because of the murder and the massacring and the madness there. We've got two terrible reports. I want to thank, first of all, James McKay. Syria conflict. They're dropping barrel bombs on the suburbs just outside of Damascus. A British-based Syrian observatory says, the human rights organization says 22 people are dead, 14 of those are children, as the Assad government drops barrels full of explosives upon the civilians there in Syria. It's an area that is divided between rebel and government-held districts. It's large parts of the city. It's a commercial hub. It's been destroyed. Damascus, folks. Damascus and the suburbs around it are no longer functioning as a city. It is the burden of Damascus, which it says in the book of Isaiah, the 17th chapter. And I'll read it to you. I mean, it's Bible prophecy. It's also in Jeremiah 49. Excuse me. Jeremiah 49, verses 23 through 27. But Isaiah 17 says, the burden of Damascus. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city, and it shall be a ruinous heap. Well, as the people flee and as the death count goes up, the murdering goes on, both sides are doing it. Now, this is Assad's regime, killing 22 people today using barrel bombs, dropping them from the sky from Syrian airplanes. Now remember, the Muslim Brotherhood do not have airplanes. They don't have jets. They can't fly and drop bombs. So this is the Syrian government of Assad that is dropping these barrels of explosives on the people, killing 22. But don't worry, the Muslim Brotherhood are worse. They're murdering whole families. This is a report just coming in from Nick of New York. Whole families are being murdered. Syrian rebels are executing 80 civilians. Where? Damascus. Are you serious? Something biblical is going on, folks, with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Listen to this article. Over 80 civilians just outside of Damascus murdered by the Syrian rebels, which is the Muslim Brotherhood, which is supported by America's Obama administration. The Russians are the ones supporting Assad, and they're dropping barrel bombs on the people. Over 80 civilians have been killed just outside of Damascus. They were executed by Islamist rebels. Sources within the Syrian military are telling us many others were kidnapped to be used as human shields. The government forces are continuing a large-scale operation against these freedom fighters, which are full of Al-Qaeda and Muslim Brotherhood, who have captured the town earlier this week. According to SANA news agency, around 1,000 militants were in the town when it enveloped by the army on Friday. The military sources said that the armed groups have performed executions of civilians. According to Arabic correspondent news with Russia Today. For now, it's established that over 80 people were killed in the areas now taken over by the army. Often whole families were murdered. So folks, again, Syria has fallen. It's not a functioning government. Assad's government's not functioning. The rebels are just going around mass murdering people. Assad's dropping barrels of bombs on top of people. We know both sides have used chemical warfare. This is an absolute human rights disaster. and with Russia being stubborn, sticking with Assad, and with Obama being stubborn, sticking with the Muslim Brotherhood, the chaos, the battleground, the battlefield becomes Damascus, and that's why it's a burden. It's no longer a city, it's a battlefield. It's become a ruinous heap. Give your life to Jesus Christ, because we're living in the last days. Something biblical is truly going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Please give your life to the Lord. Don't miss today's show. Tonight, Sunday Night Live from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern at my website, www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. That's www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. Or at Blog Talk Radio under Coming Apocalypse. Or use your cell phone and dial the number 347-324-5208. Or listen to it or watch it live at my website with the live chat room. Or watch it live at livestream.com on my old channel, which I use both channels. Or the new channel I have now at Livestream, which is www.new.livestream.com/Pastor Paul Begley Prophecy.